Greetings, dear magnificent spirit soul that you are. It's so good to be here. We've got the great Castle Crags. Fabulous right here. And the river, you could probably hear the river flowing. Breathe into your heart, out of your mind, be right here. It's a joy to be with you, and of course anytime you have questions, always you can email me and ask me if there's something you want me to teach on or share with you. Now my topic, the key to mastery of anything. The key to the mastery of anything. Perseverance, okay? Perseverance. Keep at it. Don't give up. It's even like I noticed, like with jars, it used to be, or something, I would get it to a certain point. If I couldn't do it, then I'd quit. Now what I do is I go, wait a minute, I got this far, I could do something else, and pop, 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 then it goes. It's just that extra. And this perseverance, and you might call it a repetition. That means doing something over and over and over. Well, what do you want to do over and over and over again? Well, you want to be who you are consistently. Consistently. That's who you are. You're being who you are. And you are experiencing yourself, experiencing each and every moment, because you are the moment. You are now. This is who you are. So the key to mastery, it wouldn't matter what it was. If it was cooking, you know, I like good food, and so I like to cook. I like to prepare food, or how you would say that, and also looking at how to get the most nutrition available from something. Like I sprout my own sunflower sprouts, and the green ones, you know, so the long ones. I take sunflower seeds and then soak them for a few hours or a day, and then drain them, and then put olive oil and such. And I just found the olive oil I have isn't real, I could tell. I put it in the fridge, didn't cloud up. So you got to be watching stuff. You got to pay attention. You got to notice. So you have to persevere. If you want to be, it's like when I first started working on my body and healing the body, or not just healing it, you know, just starting to clean it out and take care of the body. And when I did that, I was cleaning the intestines, and what I went through. And it was scary. It's like, I'm going to take responsibility. Because we're taught somebody else will handle that. Now, you get an expert over there, and you get an expert over here, and you've got to have your workout person, and your manager person, and your money manager, and your this or that. You're going to, and then all these things, all saying a different doctor, blah, blah. Well, my great-grandmother was a nurse and doctor, because there was no one else but her, and she went to school and was a nurse. She could do everything. Of course, people didn't have the sicknesses that they have now, because they're eating good food and drinking clear water, and the skies were clear, and the air was clear, the soil, and they weren't eating all those processed and packaged foods and all the stuff, the GMOs and all the different changes that were going on isn't going there. And the key too in perseverance is, when I just started, and so much I didn't know, and there's so much, even now maybe obviously I do not know, but doesn't mean I can't know it. There was a woman who was a librarian in my high school, Newport Beach Harbor High School. It was really great. And she was a librarian. She said, you don't have to know everything, you just have to know where to find it, where to get it. And that's how you would do it in a library, or people do on the internet. But how I like to do it is to go to trust my own inner knowing, and to persevere in that. So perseverance is continue. I know this person who's just a wonderful playwright and really cool person, but he starts something and he does it, and by not getting a first big time response, he just quits. And it's that sense of, you know, you want to do something, but all of a sudden it didn't work. It could be in relationship, it could be in something in your career, it could be a talent or ability, or somehow you want to feel. It could be a diet or a food plan you're on, but then all of a sudden it doesn't work, then the person quits and they give up. because it didn't come easy, or because they failed. And then there is no such thing as failure. I've got a lot of we've made videos on that in the past. You can check out all of these videos. We have 600 there for you. You say, well, let me have a system to go through. No, trust your own intuition, and you'll get the right one and the right teaching. So again, it's that perseverance to keep at the very thing that you want to learn or you want to know. Like, how do you master self-master? You master yourself, self-mastery, self-realization. You practice at it, you study that, you learn about that, you observe yourself, you notice what you're doing, you make those changes when you find that you're off-center or off yourself and not in harmony with your true divine nature. A blue heron just flew right past Michael behind the camera and right over the river I'm looking, and as I was talking, that blue heron went, "Rah!" That was really cool. I just had to tell you. And so, because you know, wherever you are, persevere in being who you are. Persevere in learning something. Persevere in whatever it is that you want to attain. Because guess what? People who are grumpy, they're persevering. People who are nasty and mean and cruel, they're persevering. Right? I think it was Ernest Holmes that said, freedom implies suffering. Why? Because that means that you can choose to be miserable if you want to be. And it's not like all of a sudden, it's not a magic, like a magic movie that all of a sudden you can wiggle your nose and all this stuff is going to happen. It's not about that. You're beyond that kind of theatrical magic. Because when you're in tune with who you are and how you persevere in that, is you study from people who are realizing that they could share their experience with you. You make that commitment to yourself, and then you keep at that, and then you will achieve that which you intend because you didn't quit. And I'll tell you, years ago, when I split wood, I think I talked about last week, with my hand, you know, a 1 foot by 1 inch piece of wood like that. It's that, how I did it is I noticed where I wanted to wind up. It wasn't on the wood, it was on the other side, so the wood has to break. And if you're persevering, there are other people who couldn't break the wood. It means that they couldn't eventually, but they didn't notice how to do it, and they didn't persevere. They gave up and they quit. Why? Because they hit the obstacle called a piece of wood. When an obstacle comes up, you have to look and take a look. What concept is this? What's the belief that I've accepted? What am I living from? What am I in relationship? Am I playing games here? What's this about? Why do I want a relationship and be in relationship? Because we have them all the time, okay? So all things are possible to you, and the key to mastery is whatever you want to master. That means be good at, be an expert. How about being you? You got to persevere. And then when you're there, that's when who you really are begins. That's the starting point. Bliss, my book, Live Your Bliss, is the starting point. It's not an end result. You're not having to get somewhere. It's just be who you are now, and as you persevere in that, it becomes your continual state of being. That's where the fun is, the pleasure, the joy, the power, the goodies. And they're all with you now.